Hi, this is Dr. Nat Pernick, and this is another edition of What's New at pathologyoutlines.com. Today, I'd like to first start talking about a new topic, the PDL1 SP142 antibody. This has now been posted on our website, written by Dr. Gary Tezbikian at Ohio State, and it's important for use in triple-negative breast cancer companion diagnostic testing, as well as for some GU malignancies. Now, I know many of you searched the website using your search engine and pathology outlines. You could certainly do that, PDL1, but you could also go to our homepage, scroll down to stains, and then we have the particular stains listed both in alphabetical order and by subspecialty. So that's another way that you can find it. The second item I want to mention today is that we have started to convert the chapter table of contents to a database with a more uniform format. Now, this may be something only a computer geek would appreciate, but before our table of contents were all written with different fonts, and we tried to unify them, but it's tough to do. Now we have a program that reads the data and automatically puts them in the same format with the same fonts. Now we've started with the A's, and then we're going to proceed for all 66 chapters. So if you want to look and see how it's done, you can look at the adrenal gland. The third item has to do with the textbook also, and that is that we have increased our author standards over the years, and I just want to highlight that. Many people who did a great job writing for us before, unfortunately, they don't meet our standards, which are really academic standards. We require 5 first and last author papers in the past 15 years. We require you, in general, to be active staff member. So you can read the requirements. They're listed. If you go on our website, if you go to the header, the top line under authors, and you could see we have different pages. The first page lists all the authors and gives pictures of them and contact information. And then there's an author information page, which talks about requirements. And then there's an author procedure page, which actually goes through some of the nuts and bolts of what you actually have to do. Now, what we've also found is that there are some pathologists that are probably excellent pathologists and they are prolific writers, but for some reason, we just cannot get a good fit with our way of doing business. We have a small staff and we really can't coach people if after 1 or 2 attempts, they really don't have a pretty much perfect draft. Then we have to say, sorry, but it's just not a good fit. So it's nothing personal, but we just don't have the capacity to help people in a tremendous amount. Some people, it might be the language is different. Some people may just not be used to doing things our way. I just want to let people know we are interested in having people write, but we understand in advance that not everyone's going to meet the qualifications and not everyone's going to be able to do it. The fourth point I'd like to make is that we have cut back over the years on what topics we think are appropriate for the website. When we first started, I thought, well, every topic is appropriate. We want to include every stain. We want to include every entity if it's been described at a site. Well, now one of the things that we've done is we have analytics for each page. We know how many people viewed the page this year and last year, and you could see that on every page towards the top, and that's done automatically. And we realized that some of the pages nobody's looking at, and for pretty good reasons, because they're really pretty obscure topics. We might talk about a particular lymphoma that's well described in the lymphoma chapter, and it might appear in the appendix or anywhere else, but that doesn't mean it really deserves its own topic. Now, we used to have its own topic, but now we are cutting back on that. And we have people who say, well, gee, I'd like to write a topic on all of this particular lymphoma at this particular site. It's kind of obscure. We're not doing that anymore. So it's nothing personal, but it really doesn't fit the demands of the website. We have a lot of people write. It's a peer review process. It's very labor intensive. I mean, we estimate it costs $500 to $1,000 to write each topic. So we want to make sure that it's something that people are actually going to read quite a lot of, and not something obscure. So we're not like a reference library where you want to have a book so that somebody somewhere, if they need it, they'll be able to find it. And that's one way of doing things, but we want to focus on the topics that people are reading a lot. Our popular topics, we have 10,000, 20, 30,000 visits every year of people reading that topic. And that's, they're not all going to be that high, but we want to focus on those topics that are going to be used and that really are important to pathologists. So we're going to start cutting back. We've already been doing this for the past year, and we're going to continue to do it. So you'll see it on the Stains page, which had about 600 topics. Probably it'll be cut down in half. The only exception, I think, is for CD markers. I like to have a complete list just because I think there should be a complete reference. And so that we're going to maintain, although the obscure markers probably are not going to be updated as often as the other markers. The fifth item is that we are finally resuming our quarterly jobs report. If you go to the jobs page towards the top in orange, it says Pathology Jobs Report. We have a report now for the first quarter of 2020. And for this quarter, actually, the number of jobs did increase slightly over the same quarter last year. There's been a big drop in April and May and June in the number of jobs because, of course, pathologists don't have enough work to sign out. So places that normally would need jobs, would need to hire a pathologist, really don't need to do so right now. I assume that will pick up as the hospitals start doing more elective surgeries. So we do have this report. It's based on a new database, which is almost complete. So this report, I want to get something out. It is preliminary. I don't think the results are going to change very much once we get the final version, but it talks about jobs, how many jobs and in what states in the United States, also what kind of certification is needed, AP, APCP, and what subspecialties seem to be in most demand. Now, we're also changing how we tally the subspecialties. We used to look at the most important subspecialty listed in the ad. Now we're pretty much including any, even if it says hematopathologist, but it would be good if you were also had a background in informatics or molecular, then we're including those in the subspecialty categorization too. The last item I want to mention is that we're starting a new feature, and then we'll continue it assuming it becomes popular. I'm calling it Chat with Nat. There are no conferences this year for the remainder of the year, most likely. And one of the things that I miss is the opportunity to talk to pathologists and get feedback on what they like or don't like about the website. And we haven't been able to do that, so we're going to have a video chat. The first one's scheduled for June 25th, which is a Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a banner on our website that you can see and you can register. Now, this is limited to 100 participants to keep it manageable. So I hope you'll sign up. We'll try to print a summary for those who aren't able to attend. This is really important. The ideas that we get for changing the website come from my talking to pathologists or pathologists emailing us with their ideas or their complaints. Of course, nobody wants to accept criticism, but I accept that's the way that we're going to make the website better. So if there's something you don't like, let us know. If there's something you do like and you'd like to see expanded, let us know. So this is the end of this week's What's New in Pathology. All of these videos are located on our YouTube page. If there's a topic that you'd like to be discussed or you have a question, you can email me at nat@pathologyoutlines.com, NAT@pathologyoutlines.com. Thanks, and have a great week until next time.